All right, so it's Friday, so you know it's time to ruffle some feathers. And this is a topic that I came up with for a video I did after I made a tweet yesterday talking about Casetify and seeing if people out there in the tech world are still mad at Casetify for the thing that they did with Dbrand. And that made me think of the one person who always uses their Casetify cases on their phone no matter what. Whatever they go through, the average person doesn't care about what people go through. When I say my girlfriend and her impact case on her personal 15 Pro Max. All right. Now, this is hers. Of course, you know I do not have a white iPhone. This is my iPhone right here. And this is her phone. As you can see, her beautiful self on my screens, on her home screen. Okay. So I said, you know what? Let me do a 1 year later of the Casetify impact case to see if it's true what everybody always speaks of when it comes to their cases. Now, let's go ahead and give a little honesty hour. This is no sponsored video. And yes, I know Casetify has been a sponsor of mine in the past before, but they have not been on my channel ever since the whole Dbrand thing came to light. All right. So don't think I'm doing this for some type of no. Yes, I have spoke with them. No, they know nothing about this video. And I'm gonna be 100% honest when it comes to their case and what I think about their impact case after 1 year of use. And maybe later we'll get into the whole Dbrand thing because some of you need to really go outside and touch grass. All right. Some of you need to forgive and forget. It's okay. It's going to be okay. But I understand some of you don't. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, once again, let me go ahead and give you some background. My girlfriend doesn't give a damn about all these accessories. I have hundreds of cases in here and she loves her Casetify cases that has whatever design that she wants on them. And this is the one that she has been using on her iPhone 15 Pro Max since day one. Now, she is someone who does not baby her phone. She is very rough on her phone. She will throw her phone inside of her purse with keys and whatever else that she has in there because she doesn't care. She just wants her phone to work and she wants her phone to be protected. That's why she has always used Casetify, and she's actually used these cases before she met me and before they became a channel sponsor. So let me go ahead and get all that out the way. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look. Year later, how has this case held up? Because we know these cases are very expensive. We're talking this case is $82. And if you're asking for my 100 opinion, it is a little bit too expensive. Okay. For what you get, it is too expensive when it comes to their cases. Now, you know, we do have cases that's almost 120 bucks, something like this UAG Monarch case. I mean, people, I said this was way too expensive. So for 82 bucks, yeah, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the wear and tear when it comes to this case. Now, the first thing that you're going to be able to see after a year of use is going to be a little bit of warp right here around the AKA action button, AKA cutout. Now, one thing that I did not like about Casetify cases, now I'm not even sure if they've corrected this since the 15 has came out, is they never gave us an action button. That really bothered me. And that was one reason why I didn't really have them on my channel right now, because I told you, man, I was against cases that did not have the cutout. I just did not like it. I wasn't for it. And they didn't have the actual, they had the cutout, didn't have the action button for the action button. I hope that is something that they do when it comes to the iPhone 16 model, because that's a little bit unacceptable at this point. But there is a little bit of warpage, especially when it comes around the cutout for the button right there. Now, does that affect how it fits all around the phone? Absolutely not. The fit all around the device, I didn't realize she didn't have always on display on. The fit around this whole thing still fits very tight. The fitness is there. It doesn't move around in the case. It also has a little bit of warp over here on the side where it comes to the power button. But when you tell me to talk about clicking the buttons, all of the buttons are clicky. It doesn't affect where the movement, where the placement of the button is. None of that is actually warped. Down here at the bottom, you see you get a little bit of deformed. Actually, it's not really deformed. It's actually the way the actual case is made that gives that little bump that goes around there. And it actually is not bad. Like, it still fits very tight when it comes to this bottom edge. Nothing is wrong with the cutouts. So the fit overall is very good on the case. It still fits on the case very tight, on the phone very tightly. It doesn't feel like it's going to pop off very easy, nothing like that. The fit is good, but yes, it does have some warping around the case, especially when it comes to this side and this side right here. And down below, I think it may have a tiny bit of warping, none up top at all. Now, flipping it over to the back. Now, as you know, the back of their cases, everybody always says, oh, it's the cheap Chinese knockoff designs, it prints or whatever. But this is a year later and it hasn't damaged that much. Now, as you can see in the design, you do have some of your areas that are a little bit rough, that is a little bit, scraped off. And I'm trying to see if some of these areas is a design or not, but most of these areas is where paint has actually peeled off the back of this case. Now, is that a deal breaker? No. Once again, my girlfriend is somebody who is rough on cases. She has dropped this numerous times. When I say numerous, I'm talking about numerous in all caps all the time when we are talking about dropping her case. And this is all that is the show for it. I mean, when you look at the corners, you have a little bit of, knock right here on the corner. You don't have really much on that corner. And down here, it looks like she favored some corners when she has dropped it. But for the main part, this phone has taken every drop like a champ, and the case is doing what it's supposed to do. I think we get so mixed up on your cases want to be in pristine condition. The case is there to absorb all of the damage that your phone could potentially take if you were to drop it. So we need to get out of that whole motion, because I always say, and I make jokes about it, that soon we're going to need cases for cases, because that's the way people want to keep their cases pristine. It's not about that. It's about keeping your phone in good condition. And in that case, the back is still in very good condition. You see a little bit of chips and scrapes when it comes to the paint, but nothing like that. Now, up close, let's go ahead and look at the camera ring, because this is one hard point that everybody likes to talk about. You guys hate the Casetify branding around the camera ring, and I get it. Understandable. I understand it 100%, but that's the way they chose to do things, and that's their signature mark, because when you see that, you know it's their cases. But looking at the actual camera ring and looking at it, you see some of the words are starting to get a little bit, well, the words really aren't faded, but the actual camera ring itself is starting to get a little bit faded. Now, my girlfriend always uses this camera ring. I'm talking about all the time. And this hinge is still very sturdy. It doesn't flop around. It doesn't wiggle around. It doesn't move. It still works just fine. The only thing wrong with it is you got a little bit of wear and tear on the corners of it, but that's to be expected. Taking it in and out of bags, in and out of pockets, dropping it, different things like that, you are expected to have a little bit of wear and tear when it comes to your case. Now, outside of that, let's go ahead and pop the case off, because I'm pretty sure you're wondering, like, well, is her phone protected after all of these, after this whole month, year, I'm sorry, of this Casetify impact being up here? Her phone looks absolutely brand new. There isn't a single scratch. There isn't a single thing going on with her titanium sides on her back. You can sell this phone right now for like new condition, mint condition, and it will sell like hotcakes, because there is no debris that got into the case. People always talk about, oh, the case fits loose and debris can get inside of it and scratch your phone. Where has it done that? You don't see any scratches whatsoever on this case. And once again, she is someone who doesn't take her case out to clean it. I usually do it every blue moon, and that's usually every few months when I remember it. This is her phone, her case. She does what she wants with it. She's a person who wants to put her phone in here, and you can see all of the MagSafe still stays clean. And look at it. You got little dirt and debris. You got some of our dog hair inside of her case. She doesn't care. She doesn't take care of her stuff like that. You know what I mean? But she just want a phone to work. All of the shock absorption with the Eco Shock on the inside is all still intact. Your MagSafe ring is still intact. You pop the phone back in. For the average person that just wants to pop a case on, have a little bit of design, something more than just your bland pink and purple and black and gray cases that's out there on the market, you can give yourself a design that nobody like Casetify actually does it like. All right. So let's just be 100% real in what we're talking about when it comes to these Casetify cases. Now, once again, this is going to be a year later of someone who does not baby their phone. And what is a purpose of a case at the end of the day? It is to protect your phone from dings and drops. And that's exactly what this Casetify case has done. And that is exactly what I always spoke highly about when I have done my sponsorship videos with them. I know it's not everybody's tea. It's not some of my tea. These cases are a little bit too thick for my liking, but for someone like my girlfriend who wants a cool design on the back of their phone, she has a Sailor Moon case. For someone like that who wants to put it back there, who likes Casetify, who likes the whole fashion aspect of it, and who needs that protection, these cases I always recommend, because they're going to get the job done. I could have done this video 3 times over, because every single iPhone that I've known my girlfriend to have, she's had a Casetify case up there for the entire year. So I know I always talk about she's always the main direct audience when it comes to Casetify cases. So I felt like this was a perfect video to do, to see one live in action after a year of use, how it's looking. And I feel like the case for an entire year for someone who was very rough on their phone has actually lived fine. I feel like it has aged very well, and you can't ask much more about it when it comes to a case, man. So if you want to check this out, there's the Casetify link down in the description. Once again, not sponsored. I don't get any affiliate links when it comes to Casetify. But I felt like let me just do this video because some of you guys talk trash about Casetify and you've never even used their cases. So you either have that or you have the same thing from fans who or creators who may have wanted to be them to be a sponsor on their channel, but they don't show you any attention. So you want to also bash them as well. So both parties, hopefully you've seen this video, even though yes, their cases are expensive. There's nobody out there else that's doing to where you can get these cool designs. This is one that's a little bit more toned down. But I mean, you're talking about some of their Spider-Man cases, their Iron Man cases. Nobody out there on the market is doing that. And when you're talking to the average person, all they want is a case that looks cool and protect their phone. And that's exactly what Casetify is doing.